We are going to see about the physiological control systems with an example. So one of the simplest and most fundamental of all the physiological control system is the muscle stretch reflex. So we are going to see the uh, uh, control actions that are taking place during this muscle stretch reflex. So the most notable example of this kind of reflex is the knee jerk, which is used in routine medical examinations as an assessment of the state of the nervous system. So here in this knee jerk reflex, a short tap to the patellar tendon in the knee leads to an abrupt stretching of the extensor muscle in the thigh to which the tendon is attached. So this activates the muscle spindle, which are stretch receptors. Neural impulses, which encode information about the magnitude of the stretch, are sent along afferent nerve fibers to the spinal cord. So since each afferent nerve synapses with one motor neuron in the spinal cord, the motor neurons get activated and in turn send afferent neural impulses back to the same thigh muscle. So here the block diagram representation of this reflex is given. So one can see that the amount of initial stretch produced by the tap to the knee. This produces a proportionate amount of stretch Y in the muscle spindles, which act as a feedback sensor. The spindles translate this mechanical quantity into an increase in afferent neural traffic sent back to the reflex center in the spinal cord. So which corresponds to our controller. In turn, the controller action is an increase in afferent neural traffic directed back to the thigh muscle, which subsequently contracts in order to offset the initial stretch. So this closed loop control system differs in some details from the canonical structure. It is indeed a negative feedback system since the initial disturbance lead to a controller action that is aimed at reducing the effect of the disturbance. So this is a block diagram that shows the contributions of interrelated system to the muscle stretch reflex. So here some of the branches of afferent nerves also synapse with the motor neurons that lead to the other extensor muscles in the thigh that act synergistically with the primary muscle to straighten the lower leg. So other branches of the afferent nerve synapse with more interneurons, which in turn synapse with motor neurons that lead to the flexor or antagonist muscles. However, here the interneurons introduce a polarity change in the signal so that an increase in afferent neural frequency produces a decrease in afferent neural traffic that is sent to the flexor muscles. So this block diagram illustrates the solution chosen by nature to circumvent this problem. So when the higher centers send signals down the alpha motor neuron to elicit the contraction of flexor muscle and the relaxation of extension muscle, signals are sent simultaneously down the efferent gamma nerves that innervate the muscle spindles. These gamma signals produce in effect a resetting of operating length of the muscle spindle so that the voluntarily induced stretch in the extensor muscle is no longer detected by the spindles. Thus, by employing this adaptive arrangement, the muscle stretch reflex is basically neutralized. So one final difference is that physiological systems are generally non-linear while engineering control system can be linear or non-linear. Frequently, the engineering designer prefers the use of linear system components since they have the properties that are well behaved and easy to predict. This issue will be revisited many times in the further problems to follow.